Hey, my friends. Welcome to the Dallas Daily Show at the Neighborhood Loan Studio here in St. Louis, Missouri. Today's episode is 2 ears, one mouth. Yep, let's get into that cliche. We've all heard that cliche, right? The reason this came to mind recently, the cliche is 2 ears, one mouth. Hey, you got 2 ears, and what's the old way they would say? God gave you 2 ears and one mouth, meaning you should listen twice as much as you talk. Right? That's P.S. That was the worst cliche impression ever. Let's just say it. So 2 ears, one mouth is you should listen twice as much as you talk. How many of us have heard that phrase, right? From a mother or a grandmother? Well, my wife rolled it out on the kids the other day. She was like, my grandma used to say, and this is a bad impression of my wife too. These are the worst impressions. I am not an impressionist. Rich Little would be so concerned about my skill set here. But my wife said the other day, guys, my grandmother used to say, you got 2 ears and one mouth. Y'all are doing a lot of talking. You should be doing twice as much listening. And the stare that she got from the boys, first of all, cracked me up. But I actually began to think about that phrase, right? Because we have been told that we should listen a lot more than we speak. Here's the problem for you and I, is a lot when it comes to listening to our own self-talk, a lot of our current self-talk is negative. A lot of our current self-talk is actually old beliefs, old behaviors, old paradigms, right? Old scripts, old things that we were told. Well, you're not going to be good enough, or, life is hard, or losing the weight's going to be too tough for you, right? We've been told all the old scripts, and we've even belittled ourselves. Earlier this week, we were talking about getting your back, or maybe that was last week. I don't remember when that one happened, but we talked about getting your back because you used to tell yourself when you were on an upward trajectory as a younger person, oh my gosh, the world is my oyster. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then over time, it was like, yeah, no, turns out I'm not going to do a lot of those things. I guess maybe I didn't have what it takes, or maybe I didn't have this. And we started telling ourselves a series of half-truths and bad stories. They say that over of the 60,000, it's something between like 50 and 70,000 thoughts per day the average person has. And of those, over 95% of them are the same repetitive thoughts from day to day. Think about it, right? We have to brush our teeth every day, and we just go through certain, we got to do this, and now I got to do this, and now I got to do this. 95% of our daily thoughts are repetitive. And of that 95%, check this out, over 80% of those are negative. This isn't me making crap up. This is like recent studies. I'll try maybe even for the show notes to find that study for you. But over 95% of your day in, day out thoughts are repetitive. Over 80% of those are negative. So you're listening twice as much as you're talking to yourself. You're listening to the same old thoughts, the same old beliefs, the same old negative crap that's kept you locked in the loop for way too long. And what we need to do is we got to reverse it. We got 2 ears. God only gave you 2 ears and he gave you one mouth. That means you should listen twice as much as you talk. My friend, you have been listening to the negative self-talk for way too long. You've been listening twice as much as you've been speaking. And I'm going to propose to you that it is time to flip that cliche. I'm going to propose to you that it is time to flip that script. It is time to say to yourself, nope, I got one mouth, and I'm going to talk to myself twice as much as I'm listening. I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to lessen that 95% of repetitive, 80% of negative thinking, and I'm going to quit listening to myself. I'm going to quit listening to the old. I'm going to quit doing this, and I'm going to start talking to the new. We kind of tapped on this a little bit this week in the midweek mind shift call when we started talking about vocalizing your power script. Next week's mind shift call, you're going to love even more where we're going, because I'm going to talk to you about the subtle art of microdosing your mind. And no, it's not in the way you think. Don't think that. It's a different way. But 2 ears, one mouth. You've been listening way too long to way too much negative self-talk. And I'm going to tell you now, get out of the negative self-talk. Let's get you into positive self-talk. And we're going to increase the positive self-talk, all right? It's time to flip that script. It's time to flip it and start talking to ourselves twice as much as we're listening to ourselves. And it's time to start building ourselves up. It's time to start lifting ourselves up. It's time to start talking ourselves up, believing ourselves, getting back to unshakable, undeniable, unflappable, unwavering, right? Get you back to your we're talking, I am so on fire and passionate, my friend, about the idea that you can become unrecognizable in 2025 from where you were in 2024. You can become amazing this year. And I want to help you get there. I mentioned it in yesterday, and we're driving toward it here. I'd love to have a bunch of people on this program. We're doing a 5-day challenge, thefutureyou5day.com. You can read a little bit more about it, but we're gonna actually start getting you. We're going to get you that one mouth talking loud. We're going to teach you your power script. We're going to also get you activated in what all the old little negative things are. You're going to become very aware of all the old trigger belief behavior cycles that you currently say to yourself, and how you can adapt out of those. The moment an old negative belief pops up, and instead of listening to that, you're going to have an adapt model that's going to quickly shift you into positive self-talk, visualize toward a future you want to become. So you don't want to miss that. It's only going to be about 30 to 40 minutes every day of actual like training and workshop time. It's very short. Future You, the number 5 day, futureyou5day.com. Go and check that out. Join with me. Quit listening to yourself. 2 ears, 1 mouth. No. It's time to get a lot louder in the way you speak to yourself in a positive, powerful, productive way every day. That's it, my friends. That's all I got to you. Go to futureyou5day.com. Join us for that challenge. Other resources are at the website. You can listen to my cute kid tell you that website here in just a second. But before he starts talking, I'm just going to leave you with this. Have a championship day.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more tools, go to dallasdailyshow.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.